Hello everyone, today we're going to be doing another unboxing, and here we have the figure from the manufacturer Medicom Toy, a vintage figure part of their Project 1/6 Real Action Heroes line. Is a 1/6 scale figure of the character Joe Shimamura from the series Cyborg 009 or Cyborg 009. So before we get into the figure, just in case you didn't know, Cyborg 009 or Cyborg 009 is a manga which was originally published back in 1964, serialized in Shonen King by the mangaka Ishinomori Shotaro. So just like other franchises, this also has an anime adaptation, which they do have a couple in the line. There's an original Cyborg 009 which was aired in 1968 by Toei Animations, which the series also had a TV version 2 which was released in 1979 going by the same name. And there's a little bit of a more modern adaptation which was originally aired in 2001 going by the name Cyborg 009, the Cyborg Soldier, and a more recent adaptation for the franchise which was released in 2012 going by 009 Re-Cyborg, which the franchise also has, continuing manga, other movies, and OVAs, but I'm not gonna get too much into the franchise. So as you can see here in the background, which is the box rotating in 360, this Cyborg 009 or Joe Shimamura is actually based off the TV version 2 from 1979, and this figure is actually a vintage figure, so it's gonna probably be a little bit delicate, so I'm gonna do my best to keep it to not mess it up as much. Without holding you guys back, let's take Joe Shimamura out of the box and see how he looks. So as you can see, this is how Joe Shimamura looks straight out of the box. As you can see, he is wrapped in thin wiring, I guess you can say, and a couple other things wrapped in plastic. So let's just remove all this and see how it looks. So just like other vintage Medicom Real Action Heroes, it does come with a little slip here with two slips, with one which is a postcard, which I guess would assume is probably like feedback and stuff of like, you put down and you send, but because this is old, it's not really, I don't really think this works. So, but it's, pretty neat, so at the time you can kind of see what they used to do. And here we have is the information guide for the Medicom Real Action Hero. You can see it does say Cyborg 009 and other information of the product. As you can see, a person who created it and other information. And at the bottom here you can kind of see other Medicom Real Action Heroes at the time and their costs. As you can see Kamen Rider, Devilman, and Cobra and other stuff. Oh, I see Asta no Joe there. And yeah, so it's pretty neat to see this, because you kind of see, like right here you can see Asta no Joe. I have that one. But yeah, it's pretty cool and pretty neat to have this type of paper, because you kind of see how, what kind of figures they had back in the days. So you can see here they do give you an extra 2 hands, which I think are part of the Action Combat Joe figure that the figurine is modeled on. I'll be honest, I never use these. I know my other figures come with this, but I never actually use them. But I guess it's pretty neat to have this. I don't think you're ever gonna use these. I mean, if you lose a hand or so. See, here we have is the Combat Joe or Joe Shimamura from Cyborg 009. So I'm gonna be a little bit delicate with this, because this is actually an old vintage figure. You can see these boots here, and it has information at the bottom here, which you can see Medicom Toy, time, and other information on the bottom here, such as the mangaka and others. But yeah, it looks pretty. I actually really like these type of figures. I've always been a fan of 1/6 scale. You can kind of see that a lot of detail work they did put on this figure for being old, and you can see his scarf here. But you can see you can't actually take the shoe off, or you probably can, but I'm not gonna really do that here. You can actually bend the foot because it is an articulated figure, so. But like I said before, it is actually a vintage figure, so it's gonna be, I'm gonna try to not move it as much because this is actually made out of like some fake leather material, so there's gonna be some deterioration in time. But you kind of see it close up. It looks really great. I love the way it actually looks. But you can kind of see it really close, that you can kind of see some little areas that are starting to like decolor and stuff like that. Here's a closer shot of his right hand, and he does come with two swappable hands here, so you're gonna have to remove this and place it onto it. Here we have his left hand, which I don't really think you can actually do anything with it. It's just his left hand. But you kind of see a closer shot of the actual like outfit, which looks really great. It's a great representation of the figure, especially the TV2 of the anime, which looks really great. And here we have his holster, which actually put his ray gun, which I will be showing later on. And yeah, you can see you can actually lift his hand. A little bit of deterioration you can see on the outfit, but like I said, this is a vintage figure, so I'm gonna try to be careful with it. But you can actually pose his hand. You can see his suit actually has a zipper, but I'm not gonna zip it. But looks like you see the back here, looks really great. I love the way this looks. And here's a closer shot of his scarf, which you can kind of see it's a little bit of see-through material, which looks okay. I feel like it could have been more of a flat fabric rather than a see-through, but it's probably what they had in the time, so it's not really much of a complaint. It looks really great. Here's a closer shot of his face, or Joe's face, and it looks really great. They kind of capture his melancholy type look he has throughout the show, where he's like, he looks upset, but you can't really see his face, but when you look underneath his hair you can kind of see both his eyes. But because of his hair, the way his hairstyle is, you can't really like see his complete face. But I think they did a pretty nice job with the sculpt of his hair. It looks really great. Like I said, this is an old vintage figure, so it's not like I'm expecting anything amazing, but for the time it actually looks really great. It's actually a great looking figure, and you can kind of see here, but other than that, it's actually really great. It's actually pretty large, but I actually don't have any much bad to say about it. It looks really great. See, here we have his metal ray gun, which I think is actually metal because there's actually weight to it. And you can actually put this in his holster, as you can see here, or you can actually place him on his right swappable hand, which I will be showing you right after this. So you actually slide this hand right off. Just be careful with the material because, like I said, this is old material, so you don't want to, like, if you do get this, you just want to be careful with it. I've noticed that this hand, you're gonna actually have to cut the plastic part, or the excess plastic, as you see at the bottom here, to place it. So sadly, I don't want to really damage much of the figure, so I'm gonna not really place or cut this piece off. But I would assume you probably have to cut that piece off. But this is the right swappable hand, where you can see he has like his hand in a pose where you can actually hold the ray gun. So as you can see here, this is how it would look if you did place it on him. But like I said, because there's excess plastic on the side of the hand, I'm gonna do the favors and not actually cut that off, so just to preserve the figure a little bit better. But you would actually have to cut that off, and then you'll be able to place it as his other swappable right hand. Alright guys, so that was Medicom Toys Project 16 Real Action Heroes line of the character Joe Shimamura from the series Cyborg 009. And like I said, this is actually a vintage figure, so it's actually pretty old. So if you do get your hands on this, do be careful with the material, because my glove actually became a little bit red after handling this figure. I didn't really want to move much of the hand joints, but you can actually articulate. It is articulated, so you can actually pose it in different angles, and it's a little bit limited because his boots don't bend as much, and his hands are really like limited to how you can angle it. Like I've said, like I've started my unboxings, I really do love these 1/6 scale figures from Medicom Toys, and I actually have a couple that I do want to unbox. The reason why I've unboxed this because some of the figures I'm waiting for haven't come in, and because it's in the New Year's, they're a little bit delayed because they're kind of like on vacation, I would assume. A great figure. I wanted to unbox this and I finally was able to. And if you haven't seen Cyborg 009, highly recommend. It's a really great show. I mean, I don't know if you can enjoy the TV 1 version, maybe start in TV version 2 and then continue on, but it's a really great franchise. There actually is a more modern adaptation of the Cyborg Real Action Heroes, which is based off the Cyborg. Wait, I'll put a couple pictures in the background. As you can see, it's actually based off the Cyborg version. So you get like, there's 2 variants of Joe Shimamura. There's a red and a blue outfit one. There's actually is 003, and I think they also have 004 and then 002. I don't know why they didn't continue the line. It would have been really cool to have all these characters in 1/6 scale. They probably have their reasonings why, but maybe they just stuck with the more popular characters. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it of this one. I'll leave you guys with a little bit of poses I can do with the figure because I don't really want to damage the material because it's kind of old and it's kind of like going a little bit deteriorating a little, so I don't really want to pose it as much, but I'll give you guys off with poses and stuff. So as I'm waiting for other figures, if it don't come in, I'll probably unboxing another Real Action Heroes. So that's gonna be the end of this one, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. My Omikuji, I don't have one, so I can't really open the slip up for this year, but maybe in the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.
真っ白な雲を見上げて海原に揺られていたい戦いを忘れ悲しい昨日を忘れ頬にいっぱい風受けて夢に見たふるさとに暖かな母のもとに帰りたいいつの日か風に涙任せて思い切り泣いてみたい戦いを忘れ悲しい昨日を忘れ背にいっぱい夕日なり捨てられる夢を見に失った心探しに帰りたいいつの日か花抱え懐かしい面影に愛しい人のもとに帰りたい